Hello and welcome to the HTML5 video series. My name is Brad Traversy and I'll be your instructor throughout this course. This series includes 5 chapters with 3 to 5 sections in each chapter, and I will briefly outline the chapters in this video. So what will we learn? We're going to learn HTML in full, from basic standard tagging system to the document structure, and then we'll progressively move to more complicated features, and ultimately we'll be learning the new HTML5 features like geolocation, canvas, application cache, stuff like that. So we'll basically be learning everything there is to know about HTML. And along with that, we'll be learning about CSS. We'll learn the standard CSS selectors and methods and syntax, and we'll also learn about some of the new CSS3 features and elements and selectors. And also we'll be learning JavaScript. I know that this is an HTML video, but when you're using HTML5, HTML5 is good for the markup and the layout and the presentation, but JavaScript, ultimately we need to use some JavaScript to make it work, to process it. So we will be learning some JavaScript. Okay, so in each chapter, in each section, you'll have some program files, and we're going to be building this. Our main project is going to be called the Blue Developer Directory, and what it is it's a static website with some dynamic HTML5 components. We'll start out with just building, say, a table for the site, or then we'll build the contact form when we learn about forms. And then in the, I believe it's the second chapter, we'll start putting it all together and we'll build the home page. And then in chapter 3 through 5, we'll be adding HTML5 elements to it. There are a few sections, I think, such as the canvas section, when we learn about the canvas feature, that we'll be doing a small side project that doesn't have anything to do with the Blue Developer Directory, because there are a few things that we're learning about that I couldn't really implement in this website. So we'll just have some side small projects for those aspects. So Chapter 1, we're going to learn HTML from the very beginning. We'll have the introduction, and we'll learn about certain tags, paragraphs, headings, stuff like that, how a HTML document is formed with the HTML tags, the head, body tags. And in section 2, we'll actually build a web page, a one-page website, which will have an image. We'll integrate an image and some tags. And section 3, we're going to learn about tables and lists. And in section 3, we're actually going to start building our list of developers on the Blue Developer Directory. So it'll be a table with developers along with some information, maybe the city they're in, stuff like that. And then in section 4, we'll have the forms and input. We'll be learning about basic form and input. We're not going to touch the HTML5 new input types or anything like that yet. We're just going to learn the basic syntax of a regular HTML form, and we'll probably do the contact form on the Blue Developer website. So some real good foundation work. Chapter 2, we'll be learning more about CSS. We'll have kind of an intro to CSS in section 1, and in section 2 we're going to learn about separating our content with divs and span tags, and getting the document ready to add a style sheet to. And then in section 3 we'll learn in-depth CSS, which will be external style sheets and all of that good stuff. And then in section 4 we will be putting our site together. We'll be putting the Blue Developer Directory website together. We'll build the home page, we'll style the home page, and we will also add a menu structure, and then we'll add the tables and the forms that we created in Chapter 1 to the website. So it's going to be really cool to have everything just put together. And Chapter 3 is the hard part. It's where we introduce HTML5 and all the new features. Standard HTML is pretty easy to learn. HTML5 has a little bit more of a learning curve because you need to also learn some JavaScript and in some cases some serious CSS. So it'll be a little challenging, but I think that we'll make it through and we'll explain things the best we can. And section 1 will be a basic introduction of what HTML5 is and what it can be and what it can be in the future, because it's definitely, we're in the beginning stages of it now. So I believe that it's going to take us far in the web development world. And in section 2 we'll have new tags and elements, which will be like the new header, footer tags, stuff like that. And then in section 3 we'll have the new input, we'll have the new form stuff, which is the input type. We have the new email input type, or what else is there? The phone number input type, stuff like that. All the new form stuff. We're actually going to convert the form that we built in Chapter 1 into an HTML5 friendly kind of format. So that'll be fun. Chapter 4, we're going to start with learning about Canvas. We're going to make some lines and shapes, and we're even going to do some animation with JavaScript. Section 2, we're going to show you how to detect certain features in your browser to make sure that your browser can do these things, these new HTML5 features. And we're also going to learn basic drag and drop, how to grab something in your browser and bring it over and set it somewhere, which will probably be a side project because there's not really much room for that in the main project we're going to be building. HTML5 media features, which is basically the video and audio new tags, and we're going to be implementing those. We're going to be implementing a video into the About page using HTML5 and JavaScript. Section 4 will be SVG, which it will be about vector graphics and similar to Canvas but different, and we'll be doing some JavaScript with that as well. And Chapter 5, the last chapter, we're going to learn about geolocation, which is, you've probably gone on websites where a little tab pops up and asks for your permission to grab your location so they can use it somehow on the website. And that's the new geolocation feature, which is really cool, and we're going to get into that, and we're going to learn how to use it to put where we are on a map. I think we're going to be integrating it into the registration form on the Blue Developer site so that we don't have to input our location. It can actually find it for us and then place it on a map. And section 2 is web storage, which is basically it's gonna replace JavaScript cookies. It'll allow us to put values on users' local machines on their browser, and then retrieve it at a later time when we need it. If you wanted to put like a welcome Bob at the top of the website, it could get the user's name and then display it. And then we're going to learn about application cache, which is all about offline able pages, so we can cache our sites, our pages, so that people can access them even without an internet connection. And finally, we're going to get into the HTML5 mobile development world, and we don't have a project in that particular section because it would just be too much to build an actual mobile application, but we are going to go over it. We're going to go over everything and how you would actually implement it and what it's doing, what HTML5 has been doing for us for the mobile world. So all kinds of information. So that's it. now let's go start learning some HTML.